At noon. I got caught up talking to people, and you'll find I try to keep my word and all, but sometimes we can't. And I figure you all understand because I was out here talking to people trying to get signatures to release our cannabis prisoners. I've been doing that since 2014. There's some good programs that started in 2019 since then. And it's all the same fight. You know, Canada Prisoner Project, mine, everything, it's all the same fight. Let's release all of our prisoners. Let's work together. Anyhow, I want to start doing a kind of a story time with 420 Jim. I was going to do one on the fire, but I decided I didn't get everything put together. So I figured, well, the first one might be the best to explain things. My name used to be Jim Stevens. And I was arrested in Farmington, New Mexico back in 2013 on 2 counts of sales of marijuana. Okay. 30 minutes away, I could be legal in Colorado, no problem, have all I want. I come back, I could go to jail. Now, I was in my 50s before I got harassed with marijuana. And I was working up at the flea market on the weekends, making decals. I had a motorhome. And you could come and get one of 300 decals from me in any color. And long story short, I'll try and make them short so it leads to others. But Comcast had someone they hired from Colorado to come into New Mexico to work. They hit a truck that I was a passenger in at a red light, slammed into the rear end of us. Had no insurance. When I made a complaint about the cop not giving that driver a ticket for no insurance, because, you know, they shouldn't be able to pick and choose if they do that. You know, 9 times out of 10, if it's you, they're going to give you a ticket. But for whatever reason, he would not give Comcast a ticket. When I went to go talk to Comcast the next day there in New Mexico, they threw us, me and my girlfriend, off the property and trespassed us. So that's the kind of help I got from Comcast. All of that stuff, another story. Anyhow, by me complaining about that sheriff deputy, well, they run the G2 Drug Task Force in Aztec out of the sheriff's department. And he decided that he'd tell his buddies about it, and they had someone set me up on 2 counts of drug sales. Cannabis. They tried to set me up with meth, but I don't mess with that. But instead, I did. I picked up I made a phone call. A friend came, gave me a couple of grams. I took it over to the truck where my supposed friend was with an undercover in the truck. And I take the 2 grams over, I take the money over. I don't get a bud, I don't get a hit, I don't get $1. Just helping someone out that, you know, I've smoked with before, not knowing he was a snitch. They come back the next day one more time during lunch, you know, and hey, where was that? Can you do it again? And once again, same thing. About 3 weeks go by, and I get arrested by the United States Marshals. Yeah. The U.S. Marshals come out to the flea market, pick me up. They tried their scare tactic. They took me down, made me wait 45 minutes, and then a guy comes in, 2 of them with hoodies on. And as soon as the one guy on the right spoke, I said, man, you can take your hoodie off. I know who you are. You was sitting in that red pickup truck. Because I don't sell pot. I might help someone out once or maybe 6 times a year at most, you know. So he took his head off, and he tells me how I'm facing 2 counts of sales of marijuana, 5 years on each count. But if you snitch 3 people, that goes away. And I'm like, snitch that, you know. And he's like, well, what's that? I said, it's a feather because you ain't worth a full bird. Book me. And that's exactly what they did. Now, here's the problem. The state must prove all points of their case. And a public defender takes an oath, look it up, to represent you zealously. Not to the best ability, but zealously. Okay? That's what a public pretender is supposed to do. I don't want to hear the excuse they got big case laws and this, that, and logs and this, that, and the other bullshit. If you're going to take on someone's case, you do it to the best of your ability and zealously, or you don't do it at all. Tell them I'm backed up. Hire more public defenders. But they use this and do plea deals and stuff, and they just rush people through the courts and violate their rights left and right and all. And a lot of it's done with the help of public pretenders, believe it or not. Used to be they couldn't charge you for a public defender, but now they charge you an application fee, which is against the law, you would think, because they must represent you for free if you can't afford it. Oh, that don't count the application. Bullshit. Go back to the judge. Get that judge to sign a paper to waive that application fee, because you do not have to pay it. You do not have to pay it. If they don't give you a lawyer, they can't put you on trial. Application fee or not, it's a scare tactic. Anyhow, I get my first public pretender and tell him, well, you got to prove, the state's got to prove all points of their case, right? He said, yep. And I said, you took an oath to represent me zealously, didn't you? He said, yep. I said, well, that's what I expect. I expect you to plead not guilty, and I expect you to prove just 1 point for me. And he said, well, what's that? And I said, what narcotic is in marijuana? Because there is none. You can bring a chemist in and declare there is one, but I get the right to bring a chemist in and declare there's not one. But I'll do you one better here. I said, you yourself will prove there's no toxin in cannabis within a minute. And he's really? And I said, yep. Your body, my body, pretty much everybody's healthy body on this planet rejects all toxins in 72 hours or less. Cocaine, meth, heroin, coffee, aspirin, any of that stuff we put in our bodies that are drugs and stuff, things that you could OD on because man processes and all, your body rejects. It gets it out of there. After 72 hours, it's not even in your bloodstream no more. The only thing it's in is your hair follicles. Why? Your body got rid of it. How come THC stores, keyword, stores 30 days or more? How come we have cannabinoid receptors throughout our body? It's because we've been lied to all along. We're supposed to be eating cannabis. It's one of the most healthy, nutritious, medical plants on this earth. No, we shouldn't smoke it and put smoke in our lungs, but that's not me to say. I smoked cigarettes for 40 plus years, and the good Lord let me walk away from them almost 4 years ago. And, people say, well, bullshit. Put your mind to it. You can do anything you want. 20 years ago, I walked away from a cocaine habit. Woo! That you wouldn't believe. Walked away. No rehab, nothing like that. Just the determination of wanting to do it for myself. Okay? 5 years ago, other than one beer that I drank last week with a friend during 4th of July, I have touched no alcohol in 5 years, not even beer. 4 years this November for tobacco. I made the man upstairs a promise, as long as I'm on the road and I'm using donations to help fund this mission, I would not smoke, and he let me walk away from them. I get tempted all the time, but I want to keep my promise to the man above. But getting back to it. So anyhow, the first attorney, he said, okay, yeah, no problem. So we meet the next day for court. We get in front of the judge. They call us up. My attorney goes up. I go up. And the attorney says, Your Honor, I'd like to recuse myself from this case. And I forget what he told the judge, some sort of bullshit of why. And the judge says, okay. And he looks at me and says, my name back then was Stephen. He said, Miss Stevens, we got to get you another lawyer. Get back with the public defenders, and they're going to reassign you another lawyer. What can you say? He said, okay. I go into public defenders, and they assign me a second public defender. And I talked to him, and just like the first one, I told him what I wanted. I wanted him to represent me zealously, and I wanted to take it to a jury trial. And that I want the state to prove what narcotic. Oh, sorry about that. What narcotics in marijuana? Because my friends, they are none. Sorry, I'm trying to make my phone stand up here where I can do this. I need to get a stand, but I can't afford things. Anyhow, I told him about proving what narcotics in it. And, he's, yeah, no problem. We'll see you tomorrow in court. This time we get in front of the judge, and he starts saying just the opposite of what I told him I wanted to do. Just the opposite. And I said, yo, Your Honor, who is this? He says, your attorney. I said, oh, no. This guy ain't my attorney. He's not saying anything we talked about yesterday and whatnot. He's just making up a bunch of garbage. And the judge says, well, you have the right to fire him. And I said, you're fired. I want nothing to do with this guy. And he said, well, we got to get you another one. Well, public pretenders thought that they'd pull a sly one on me. They have a public defender that works for the public defender's office, but he also has a private practice. They led me to believe I was going to go see a regular attorney, private practice. And his name was Cosmo Repo. A little voice in my head told me to turn my phone on record before I walked in his office. That never happened before. So I listened to it. Within 5 minutes, I got Cosmo Repo telling me that I had pissed someone off. I was going to do Department of Corrections. He called it DOC. He didn't have evidence or witnesses he was going to call. He'd see me in court, get out of his office. Just like that. Wow. I didn't blow up or nothing. I just was hoping that was all on record. Guess what? It was. I went home, I recorded it, and went back on a disc, went back down to the public defender's office, not his law office, and said, you got 15 minutes to explain this or I'm putting it on the internet. Within 5 minutes, the guy I've been trying for a week to get a hold of, the head of public defender, he comes out the door finally. He said, oh, we got a problem here, Mr. Stevens. I said, no. You got a mouse in your pocket? He's, what? I said, you got a problem. I don't have a problem. What are we going to do? He said, well, nobody from the public defender's office can represent you. The pool's tainted. And I said, so what's that mean? And he says, well, we got to hire you private counsel. Cool. You got Eric Marlowe? Because I heard he is a good attorney. I talked to him before, but I didn't have the $5,000 to pay him. And of course, he says, I don't know who we have. You'll be notified. The following day, I get a call from public defenders that tells me my new attorney is Eric Marlowe, to call their office and set up an appointment as quick as possible. Which I did, and they saw me the next day, and I walk in, and the attorney's like this, and like, what's up? And I'm like, what's up? And he said, man, I don't care who pays me. I get paid, whether it's you or the state. What do you want to do? And I said, well, just like I told you in the beginning when I was asking about hiring you. He wanted to put them on trial for setting me up. But he said, whatever you want. And I said, no, I want to go on what narcotic is in marijuana. I want this question answered. One of us is right. One of us is going to make or break the marijuana movement. And he said, I can understand that. I can appreciate it. Let me get started on it. He must have made a couple calls, because the very next day, he says, Miss Stevens, I want to tell you something, but wait until I finish before you get upset or anything. Oh, come on, man. That's not just putting that gun, but it's cocking the trigger back, And when he got to the point they wanted me to talk to a psychiatrist to see if I was fit to stand trial or not, I'm like, what? And he said, whoa, wait a minute. He said, hear me out. He said, you seem really passionate when you come to me about this marijuana thing. He said, all I'm asking you to do is take a day or two and think about it. He said, this is a get out of jail free card for a year, long as it don't involve any violence. And it might help what you're trying to do. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, well, if you went to Walmart and stole the TV and got caught, they're going to put you in jail, but the next morning when you see the judge, he's going to kick you out. No charges or nothing. They can only evaluate you once a year. He said, but if you kick someone, hit someone, or anything that involves violence, you're going to be there. I'm like, oh. And I said, you know what? Let's put it in the man above's hand. Let's leave it up to Yahweh. And you, as my lawyer and stuff, I'll play y'all's game. I'll go along with whatever y'all say. And he set it up next day or the day after that. And I had to go down and meet with the psychiatrist and stuff. The next day we're in court where they find me incompetent and stand trial. Can you believe that? Found me incompetent and stand trial. Most people would have went and got their crazy check and stuff and just lived off the government the rest of their lives. But I'm not like that. I didn't want no crazy check or nothing. I was pissed, but I had my vision that night when they found me incompetent and all, and I knew I had this get out of jail free card supposedly. Let's try and use it. So I scraped off all the decals on the motorhome. The first one, that's the original Canna bus, not the 2 or the 2.4. I'll explain them in another video. I scraped off all them decals, sprayed a bunch of pot leaves on it, President Obama's in office, I'm like on the road to Washington, sign my petition, blah, 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 blah. And the journey began. And to this day, I've been almost a full 10 years on the road and 36 states traveling. Okay? I do not just talk the talk, by the way. I try to walk the walk. My legal name is 420 Jim. First name 4, middle name 20, last name Jim. A judge changed that in 2019, but that's another story time with me. I think this is enough for today because I want y'all to join in. Please subscribe. Please like. Please share. If we can get this channel to get up to the 1,000 subscribers, I'll do these 5 days a week and stuff. Right now, I'm turning around and I'm headed towards Arizona to be with my family a while and maybe write the book. Please look for it next year. Hopefully it'll be 420 Jim, One Man's Journey. Hope to see y'all here again on Wednesday. I'm sorry about me being late today. I'll try to be on time these times, but sometimes things come up. It's just a little bit more important. And people signing that petition is a little bit more important to me than talking to someone, okay? Because I will always come here. Hey, and if you get all my subscribers up and the likes and stuff, I'll do all my lives on here. I'm doing one at 4:20. I'm doing one at 8 p.m. Just come ask questions, talk with me about anything you want. This is story time at noon, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Every other day, could join me at 4:20, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we'll just talk if you want to talk about whatever, okay? But if we can get this channel built up and whatnot, maybe it'll help, and maybe I can get the book wrote, because that's my intentions right now. So, as I say in all my videos, pretty much, peace, love, and cannabis for all. One team, one dream, united we stand. And if we try, folks, we can all get along. You know, Martin Luther King had a dream. If we listen, we're all human beings. Skin color ain't nothing but a pigment. We should all get along. My dream, we should all get a bong. You got to admit, that goes hand in hand, folks. I think me and Mr. King would have been best friends back then. I love each and every one of you. Treat one another with kindness. The more truth you tell and the more you help others, the better your life will be, with or without cannabis. Cannabis makes it a little better. Hope to see y'all Wednesday at noon, and I hope to see some of you at 4:20 for my 420 lives. Peace out.